Hi, my name is Melissa Heckert. I'm a residential director here at Prospectus Berco. One of the programs that I oversee is our Deaf and Hard of Hearing home. One of the things that Prospectus Berco does really well is tailors the community home to the individuals that live there. It really feels like their home. So with this house, we wanted to make sure that anyone who was deaf or hard of hearing was able to access their environment fully. And what that means is we made a lot of modifications to this home so that these individuals can live as independently as possible, but also have the unique experience of living within their deaf culture and allowing this house to represent that for them. First of all of our staff have learned sign language. Now, we are by no means interpreter level. However, we are able to communicate with the individuals that live there. There are many repetitive signs that they use in their communication, so it's very easy to learn and pick up on what they're saying. And it's also fun to learn with them because they don't know as much sign as other people, and so when we're teaching them new signs, we get to learn them too. All of the bedroom doors have special knockers on them. And so if you're going to enter a bedroom door that's closed, if you knock on the door, a bright light flashes. And this alerts them that someone's at their door. We also have special fire alarms so that strobe lights go off. We also have had special alarm system put in. So when you ring this doorbell, a light flashes in each of the participants' bedroom plus in the living room to alert someone that someone's at the door. We have special mirrors in certain areas of the house because in deaf culture, since they can't hear, they access their environment through their eyes. So by putting these mirrors in certain corners, it helps them to have a greater view of their home and around corners that they typically wouldn't have. We also make sure that we have visual schedules in the house. With those schedules, it is a staff schedule, so that way they know who is working. Plus, this allows them to work on fingerspelling our names or eventually giving us name signs, which is a pretty high honor in the deaf culture. So, we also have signs throughout the house in decorative frames that help teach, but also can work as art pieces within the home. So that way they're constantly surrounded by their language. So with this home, the Office of Developmental Programs has instituted the Harry M. Settlement and identified many program participants throughout the state of Pennsylvania who are recipients of this lawsuit. What that means is that many participants in the state of Pennsylvania were placed in community homes where they had no access to their language. They had no staff who could sign. They didn't have the ability to have their homes adapted to them so that they could live about it freely. So there's this lawsuit called the Harry M. Settlement that ODP says that we have to provide a lot of items for our program participants that are identified as deaf and hard of hearing. One of those things is a communication assessment report. That process is someone from the Temple University pairs with the Office of Developmental Programs, ODP, and assesses our program participants in sign language and how they sign. From that assessment, they then make recommendations based on what would be best to help put that program participant back into their culture of deaf culture. Help them increase their signing, help them have access to the community, to doctor's appointments, things like that that they need to have in order for them to be fully involved in their life so they can make decisions. We just finished our last round of communication assessments with ODP, and our last assessor said that we had surpassed all expectations. We exceeded expectations across the board for our home and the way that we interact with these program participants and how much we've taught for them. It was really nice to hear that because when we're here, we're kind of working by ourselves. And when you're in that home, you're in that environment all the time. So to hear that that environment isn't any other place is kind of mind-blowing to us, because it's second nature at that house. You walk in and you know that if you're going to communicate, you're going to be communicating with sign language, and you know that you are doing everything to help those people that live there be able to be as much of a part of their home and their community as much as possible, because their deafness should not prevent that at all. That should not be a hurdle for them. The gentleman who did the last community assessment at that home, when he finished it, he actually is a supports coordinator from the Pittsburgh area, and he's fluent in sign language as well. You have to be fluent in order to complete these assessments for ODP. And when he finished, he said that Prospectus Berco is actually above and beyond many of the providers within the state with all the things that we have done to make this home deaf accessible. So he said we definitely exceeded those expectations, that we go above and beyond. And then he asked if we have any open referrals that we could take. So Prospectus Berco does not take the deaf culture just in the residential area of our agency. We also have a component over at the day program when we are at full capacity, where all of the program participants within that component are either deaf or hard of hearing. Staff who are in that class are also trained in sign language and sometimes substitute at this house that we have out in the community and work primarily in this component. That staffing group also meets together with the residential staff, and we have classes together to learn more sign language with a woman from Berks Deaf and Hard of Hearing. We would have those classes on a weekly basis, and they were about an hour long, so we were constantly working to expand our signing skills.